We must guard against the acquisition of unwarranted influence, whether sought or unsought, by the military-industrial complex.
What we do not do is spy unlawfully on Americans.
We are leaving in 2014, period. Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
America's public enemy number one in the United States is drug abuse. In order to fight and defeat this enemy, it is necessary to wage a new all-out offensive.
You are listening to Biting the Bullet with Luke and Typo.
Yours recording?
Yeah, dude.
Dope. What's up, Typo? How you doing? How you feeling? Are you sore?
Dude,
I'm sore.
I feel good, dude. I feel great. But yeah, I'm sore.
I'm sore as shit. Typo and I decided to do, well, I originally was just like, I'm gonna go to the gym 30 days straight, need to get back into it. I'm gonna fucking fuck my body up and just go 30 days straight. Every fucking single day, I'm going to the gym. I need to create the habit that I lost. So I'm gonna go to the gym. And then I conned Typo into doing it with me. And we've been sending our weights back and forth to each other for the last week. I started on Saturday. I don't know, what was that? April 2nd, I think. April 2nd, something like that.
So. Yeah,
and
Friday was
so
April
did he.
1st.
Yeah, I couldn't start on April 1st because, you know, it's April 1st. It's a bad way to start a 30-day challenge of going to the gym. Hey, everybody, I'm doing it.
Yeah. April Fools.
But I couldn't walk. So I was like, I'm going to go right into this thing. And I did legs that Saturday and I couldn't walk until like Wednesday. Like I literally was having problems walking.
Dude. Yeah, that's one thing that really sucks. If you go a long time without doing legs at the gym and then you get back into it, it's like you've never done it before. It's like your body completely forgot what this feels like. And you get like incredibly sore, dude. It's like the worst. Like once you do it for a little bit, then it's fine. You're over it. But there's just those first few times you do legs, you're like, why do I do this to myself?
Yeah, dude, it was horrible. And you know, like I was like, I'm gonna ease myself back into it. I'm not gonna do crazy weights. I'm gonna go light, not do too many workouts. And I didn't do that. Didn't stick to my game plan and lifted heavier than I should have. More than I should have, repped more than I should have, and couldn't fucking walk. Literally couldn't, like, dude, it was hard going. I had to do a 10-story fucking hotel building and had to walk up and down the fucking stairs to get to shit. And that was hell. It was hard. I thought I was going to fall down the stairs like multiple times.
Yeah, dude, I'm in the position now because I'm not near you. So like usually when we would go work out, like you would just be able to spot me and I'd be able to spot you. Now, dude, I have no one to spot me. But when I go to the gym here, there's like no one there. So I'm like deadly afraid to be that asshole that like, I don't know, has a barbell stuck on him on the bench. help. Like I just don't want to be that guy. So I've never pushed myself on like bench or squat or stuff like that. And unless there's like someone else there, because I just don't want to be that guy, dude.
Yeah, and you know, living in the city, it's like you're not gonna fucking ask anybody else. Like you're not gonna be like, hey, can you spot me real quick? Most people would, to be honest. Especially the dudes in there, most of them are gonna be like, yeah, no problem, bro. But you know, it's also like it's still competition. Every time you walk into the gym, it's like who can lift more weight.
Yeah,
you can't. You don't want to look like a bitch, even though you don't even like. You go at different times, so you don't even see these people half the time. And it's like a big ass gym. So.
Yeah. Well, what's funny is like when you like get into working out, you start getting a little bit in shape. When you're at the gym, you get a little discouraged because you look at all the people that are regular gym rats that's there all the time, and you're like, "Fuck, dude, I look nothing like this guy. I look nothing like these people over here." But then when you leave the gym, and go into the grocery store and you're like, I can lift more than this pussy. Like you're like I don't know. It's just so weird that like when you're in the gym and there's just like these massive fucking dudes and you're like, God damn, I don't know if I'll be able to squat, 500 pounds or whatever. And I'm
You're like, Jesus Christ.
Like I'll just squat my 250 and I'll feel good about myself. Okay.
Is there anybody in the gym that's like fucking killing it at your gym? I know there's like 2 people in your gym at a time. Is there like one dude that you're just like, holy fuck?
I would probably say it's the owner, like the guy that owns the gym.
Fuck yeah, dude. If I owned a gym, I'd be in it. I'd live there.
Yeah. Like he's who I see the most, and he always comes to work out. I think we get off work about the same time probably. But every time I go to the gym, which is right around 4 p.m. ish, he's in there. And
I love that he has another job and owns the gym. Like that's hilarious.
Yeah. Yep. Well, dude, I swear to God.
I mean, smart, but
I swear to God, him opening the gym was like the easiest thing. Like, I mean, what I mean by like, once he got it operational and running, it had to have been easy because it's the only gym in town. It's the only one, dude.
Well, and yours is dope. It's 24 hours. It's basically ran by cameras. You have a sales guy that goes in there for a couple hours during the day. And the rest of it, you just fucking let people do what they do. Like that sounds like the best business ever.
Yeah, it definitely goes to show a little bit about how people here aren't worried about like people stealing anything or anything like that. Cause like, I mean,
well, and if you do, there's so many cameras that it's like, I know Billy Bob from down the street. He lives on 4th Street in fucking Maine.
Yeah. And like I don't know, you have to be a member to get in because that's the only way you can swipe your card. So, I mean, I don't know. I think it's just funny that like you can be in there and no one else is in there. And it's very nice. I like it. I like being able to work out and have like almost the entire gym to myself. But at the same time, it's just weird that like this would never be like LA Fitness would never do this in like South Phoenix.
Dude, I was leaving the gym yesterday and this dude, he has like a fucking scooter and he's a young kid. He looks like 21, 22. And the manager is holding the door open and he's yelling towards the kid. Kid works at the LA Fitness too. And he's like, hey, where are you going? And he's like, I said, I'm just going to Walmart. He's like, yeah, but that was the VP. You shouldn't like say going to Walmart. Like that looks really bad. And he was like, well, I asked because I thought it was polite. And I was just putting myself in that kid's position at like 21, 22. Walmart's across the street, like diagonally from this LA Fitness. And he's like, I'll just go to the gas station. But I was just like, any other day it would have been fine. But the VP was there. And so now it sounds bad. And now the manager's yelling towards the kid, not like yelling at him, like degrading him, but just kind of being like, that was unprofessional, like at the kid outside the store. So what looks more unprofessional? Looking more unprofessional. It was like, I get the kid. It's like, bro, I'm just going to Walmart. Like any other day, this is fine. Like it's literally 30 seconds longer than the gas station. And it would have been just fine. And then the whole unprofessionalism thing came up. And then it's like, but you're yelling outside the LA Fitness. And I'm just walking out. And I'm just like, I'm so glad I'm not like, I have problems in my own job that we deal with all the time. But I was just so glad I'm like, I'm not working in a service industry like that anymore because that shit sucked. When I remember doing security, even the armed security that we do. And we were just dealing with other stupid people in your job constantly. Like, thankfully, for the most part, I work by myself. I'm very dependent on stupid people in the office, but like for the most part, I get to do my own shit and I don't have to worry about it. But fuck, dude, the service industry like that, where you're just constantly around other people, it sucked.
Dude, it is kind of weird. Like, I mean, I guess I worked kind of in. I did like bar security. I guess that was more in like the service. That was definitely the service industry. But and then when I worked at the axe throwing place, it was really weird because you like had to put on like a whole nother personality. Like you have to like, it's like this weird, like you almost have to fake it around these people. And then when they leave, you can be like this fucking scumbag, dude. thank you. Come again. I hope this guy never fucking comes back. Like it's
Hope he
just
gets hit by a car on the way home.
yeah. It's just so weird because I don't know. It's like you're almost like faking how you really are because you got to do it for your job and give a good performance so you can get a better tip. But I hated that. That was just the worst part.
Well, all right. So what are you weighing in at right now?
Like 180.
180. I'm at 204, 205. That's what I'm at. 6'1", 205 sounds good, but I kind of want to keep the weight. I kind of want to stay 205, but be not as less fat. Stay 205, less fat. 6'1", 205. That's a stacked motherfucker when you're in shape.
Yeah, dude, fucking. Well, I think I don't know. I'm not the expert here, but do you want to drop weight first and then put on fucking mass, or are you just gonna put on mass and then hope you drop weight?
Well, I feel like just working out, I'm gonna drop weight. That's usually what happens to me. I know my body's changed a little bit, but I don't think working out is going to put that much mass on my body at the beginning. I have a decent sized frame. It's a lot bigger than it was when I was in the Marine Corps. Like you remember, I was in Marine Corps sitting at 170 and I was 6'1".
Yeah, I don't know how, dude. I was always like 170 the whole time. I never understood how people could be. Well, I feel like taller people for some reason were just so skinny and in the fucking military. Like most of them.
I feel like it's harder for us to gain weight in general. Like for the most part, especially people that were active, like it's difficult for taller people to.
Well, the whole first year in the Marine Corps is all like just cardio.
It's just running. And so that's when I dropped. I dropped a shit ton of weight. Like I was in the middle of boot camp, I was at 145 at one of our tapes. 145. I had gotten sick. Yeah, I had gotten sick. I had bronchitis and I got my wisdom teeth out all at the same time. And I had really bad bronchitis. So I couldn't eat, wasn't keeping anything down, couldn't breathe, couldn't eat anyways because I had all 4 of my wisdom teeth out. And then and I had a day of rest. Like they gave me a day of rest. Yeah. And it wasn't even a full day. I was in the what was it? The meat grinder. Did you guys call it the meat grinder when you would do rifle movements inside the barracks? Called it the meat grinder. And so they didn't even let me. I had fucking, the chipmunk cheeks and the bloody gauze still in my mouth, sitting there
practicing for drill, baby.
Yeah, practicing drill because I was in fucking Alpha Company, which is known for their drill. We had the fucking Nazi knees, where they go straight out and then down, and then straight out and then down. So we're sitting in literally the day that I got my wisdom teeth pulled, I was sitting there doing that. But that all happened, and then I got really sick too because I wasn't sleeping or eating very well. And then I got bronchitis pretty bad, and I dropped all the way down to 145 and 6 foot. At that point, I was 6'2", a little bit taller than 6'2". I kind of shrunk in the Marine Corps a little bit, fucked up the discs in my back, and 6'2", 145. And they were like, we need to put him on. I was too skinny by Marine Corps standards. So they put me on double rats, and I was the only person above 5'5" in my platoon that was on double rats.
Yeah, that's fucking crazy, dude. Yeah, I don't really know. I think all through high school, I was 160, 165. Maybe I got to 170. But then once I joined the Marine Corps, my weight fluctuated between 170 and 180. There was one time where I was 180. And I was actually I had a decent body type, I was decent size. Yeah. And then I dropped to 170, and then I got back to 180. But this time it was not because of working out.
Well, that's where I'm at. I got up to 180 by the time I left boot camp. By the time I left boot camp, I was 180. All that double rats, I had extra time to eat. And then I was 180. and I was a solid 180, which was dope. I was like, this is a good weight. And then I dropped in MCT, and then at comm school, I dropped again. And I was probably sitting 170 up until like 2 years into the Marine Corps. And then that was probably around the time you got there, and I was sitting at 180. And I basically stayed 180 until I got out of the Marine Corps. I gained a little weight my last year just because we were lifting a little bit heavier, and I was lifting a little bit heavier and eating a little bit more. But I don't think I ever went to 190. And then even outside the Marine Corps, I fluctuated between like 185 and 175 until probably 2 years ago. And then it was like, I think that was 2 years ago was my heaviest point, and I was a little over 210. And I was like, oh shit, I need it. And I mean, it doesn't look bad on me. Like, I don't look fat. Like, neither of us look fat until we put a too tight shirt on, and then you got a belly. But like, if you look at my legs or my arms or anything else, normal fucking dude. Like, nothing crazy, not fat, looks decently in shape, but not like in really good shape. And then, but yeah, 210, 215, I was like, all right, I need to figure my shit out. And that's when I started hitting the fasting thing really hard. And that made me feel really good. And I need to get back into it, but it's kind of hard. This week, it was super hard because I was burning way more calories than I'm used to, because literally every day I went every single goddamn day, no matter how fucking tired I was, right after work. And it kind of sucks because sometimes I get off, or I usually get home between 2:30 and 3:30, just because I start my day so early. And I didn't get home until like 5 every day this week. And I was like, this is bullshit. But I feel better, tired. I'm glad I'm having a beer now.
Yeah, I definitely feel a lot better going. I feel more energized now. And I don't know.
More motivation to go too.
Yeah.
That's the big thing.
I'm just trying to show up at Childeberg jacked. I don't know if I'll get jacked by the time I get there, but maybe Childeberg 4, I'll be jacked. Wait,
I mean, you got
4?
Yeah, this is 4.
5, I'll be jacked.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you got a month, 2 months. You got 2 months to make some improvements. Fix your diet a little bit. Fix your diet just a little bit. You'll be fine.
Yeah. Well, my sister started making meal preps, and it's literally just chicken and rice.
Oh yeah, dude.
That's all it is.
I love it.
And I was like, even I was like, maybe we can throw in a vegetable. Like, I need more food, man. I just need more than just chicken and rice.
Yeah, I got you hooked on broccoli. You know how to make broccoli pretty good by now.
Yeah, I like broccoli. Broccoli, I'm fucking so picky with my vegetables. I got broccoli, asparagus,
and corn.
Yeah, well, yeah.
I guess corn's technically a fruit. Did you know this? Corn is a fruit.
No, I've never heard this blasphemy in my life.
Corn is a fucking fruit. Look it up, dude. No. Corn is a fruit.
Bro.
Because it spreads its seeds. The kernels are its seeds. Corn is a fucking fruit, dude.
No.
Isn't that bullshit? I freaked out.
No, it's not.
It's a fruit. Just like tomatoes. Tomatoes are fruits.
Dude, this sounds like some liberal propaganda, bro. Corn, maize, belongs to the, I'm not pronouncing that, something family. And while eaten sometimes as a vegetable and sometimes as a grain, it is actually classified by botanists as a fruit. Yeah, dude, no. Fake news.
This is what the liberal media has brought.
Yeah, this is what CNN's garbage they're spewing. This is what I'm talking about, dude.
This is why China's winning.
This is why Russia's gonna win the war, because of this bullshit right here, dude.
Yeah, Russia doesn't classify corn as a fruit. Russia classifies that shit as a vegetable. I'm fucking Russian, dude. We're Russian now. Yeah, this is the number one Russian supporting podcast. That's what we are.
Great.
Speaking of Russia, what are they doing right now? I haven't heard a whole lot. I heard they withdrew from the UN's fucking war something or other because they were accused of war crimes. I still don't know what the war crimes are. I've been trying to find it, but I don't really know.
All I know is there's a bunch of dead civilians. It looks like some of them were killed execution style, like handcuffed behind their back, shot in the head. But now
They're probably American secrets or American special forces.
Well, they've done it before, but fucking apparently, I don't know. So the story is Russia is claiming that they didn't do it. Ukraine is claiming Russia did it. Russia's troops were there at the town, and then they left, and then it was reported like 2 days later that this massacre happened, and Russia called for the UN investigation. They're like, yeah, come investigate. And apparently the British, some British people in the UN blocked it. And they're like, we're not doing the investigation from Russia. Yeah. So I was like, I don't know what happened, but that doesn't seem like Russia did it to me, I don't know. But I don't know,
well,
dude. There's so much
it was kind of like a couple weeks ago when Crimea was like, hey, we're getting fucking bombed. We're getting bombed, guys. Hey, we're getting bombed. And Ukraine was like, yeah, it's Russia. They're bombing us too. And they're like, it came from Ukrainian airspace. And then everybody was like, yeah, it's the Russians flying over Ukrainian airspace and bombing Crimea. And it's like, but that doesn't really make sense, does it? That doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. I'm just saying. Like, what's the benefit there? I don't know. And that's the thing. We're not going to know until fucking 20 years from now when all this shit gets leaked and nobody's going to give a fuck about it anymore. And it's going to be another Afghanistan papers, but it's going to be the Ukrainian papers. And, it's going to turn out that it was an American warplane that was bombing Crimea to make it look like Russia. Like,
yeah,
like that's just crazy. Like, that's just how it's going to be.
But yeah, there's just like so much, like, I don't even know what's true. They bring Zelensky on the fucking Grammys and it's like,
did he actually go?
Yeah.
I don't see it.
Okay. I don't know if it looked like it was a pre-recorded video, but still they let him play his video and he basically, I think he equated Russia to the Nazis and
that's
for more support.
Hypocritical.
I know, dude. It's pretty weird. Like, this
dude,
is
I love
weird
how it's just silent. Like, I don't hear very much of any of the liberal media, like even trying to justify the Azov battalion or any of the Nazi bullshit that goes on in the Ukraine. They just completely ignore it. Like, I literally haven't heard a news media outlet say shit about it. I know there's some out there, and I'm sure like CNN has said something about it.
Yeah, there was like one article that I saw from like the New York Times, maybe I'm wrong, maybe the Washington Post, something like that. And they basically said like, yeah, there's Nazis, but it's different. It's like, okay.
Same, but different.
Yeah, they're the new Nazis, the new Hitler regime. I don't
they're
know. Like,
neo-Nazis.
Yeah, like that's the only thing I saw.
They're good neo-Nazis.
Yeah, they're actually
not the Charlottesville neo-Nazis. They're the Ukrainian neo-Nazis.
Yeah, not those ones at January 6th. Not those. They're the different Nazis.
It's neo-Nazis, like Neo from the Matrix. The Matrix were it's Neo.
I don't know. But you're right. I don't really see them talk about it at all. The only thing, I mean, they have like, they bring on like fucking Hillary Clinton on the news. I've been seeing her a lot more on the news lately.
I've just seen her getting talked about. I haven't actually seen her talk.
Yeah, well, she basically, like, I watched one little video and she basically she basically said the media needs to do a better job at portraying Democrats in a positive light.
Dude, I love it, dude. I love it. More. I want more. Like, I want them to look. I love people looking bad. I love people looking bad. It's fun. It's enjoyable. It's fun for the whole family. Especially when your family's a Democrat. My family's Democrat, so it's fun for the whole family. It makes
my-
Thanksgiving dinner amazing.
Yeah, my family just think Trump is gonna rise again, and
I love how Trump in Republican circles is Jesus. Like that's amazing. That's divine.
it's the
isn't
Barack
it? Like,
Obama for the Republicans, dude. They
Isn't it
fucking
just
love him.
divine? It's legitimately divine.
It's their new Reagan, dude. This is
I
like our
know.
generation, like when we,
When we
like
talk
people that
about
are
this 50
are
years
having
from now.
kids. Yeah, they'll be like 20 years from now, and like this country was great when Trump was in charge, and it'll be like just like the Reagan shit that we always heard about how Reagan, well, at least my family, they always talked about how Reagan was this amazing president and did all these things.
Has your dad denounced Reagan yet? Is he still just Reagan?
We don't go there. All right. We leave that part of history alone. Okay.
It was a different
There's-
time.
Yeah. You don't understand, Luke. We
You don't know what he did for me.
but no.
No.
No,
All
he has
that,
not.
but no. No, he hasn't. That's all right. I've been like, my whole goal is to get my family to realize that Barack Obama is a war criminal. And I think I've done a pretty good job. I think they generally agree, but I still hate the adage of like, but the good weighs out the bad. And I'm like, I don't think it does. And I think the only reason why it does is because it happens over there and over there. It happens over there and not over here. And so it's like, yeah, but look at what he did here. It changed a lot of people's minds. It did a lot. I think Barack Obama did more damage to the Black community than Donald Trump.
Well, if you ask people around here, they'll tell you that Obama's the one that started this race war. It was Obama with Michael Brown. That's what started this race war.
Who's Michael Brown? Which one's Michael Brown?
Michael Brown was the one shot in Ferguson. I think if I remember correctly, he was like in the process
the
of
hands up, don't shoot.
I believe
one?
so.
Hands
I
up, don't
believe
shoot.
so. Yeah.
Yeah, dude, I was in the Marine Corps defending that shit, and I'd probably defend it again. I don't think that, like, yeah, I understand
I
he
don't
robbed
remember.
a store, but then
I
they
don't
shot him in the back with his hands up. That's pretty bad, dude. Oh, I got sent an article. It's probably from Jazz Booth. I'm guessing it was from Jazz Booth, because he's the one that sends me articles that pertain to Phoenix. He knows more about Phoenix fucking PD than I do, but somebody sent me an article, and I'm just going to give it to him. They sent me an article about Phoenix PD and Phoenix, maybe it's their fire department, are going to be one of the first in the nation to start using drones. And I didn't get to read the article. I haven't read it yet, but that sounds like a great idea. I am so happy that Phoenix PD, one of the worst like nominated police departments in the nation for shooting people, are going to use drones, not for spying on people. Obviously, it's just for surveillance.
Yeah, it'd just be weird to be walking around and then like this fucking, I don't know, drone just flies over your head and you're like, what the fuck is that?
It's
dude?
like wee woo, wee woo.
Yeah,
This is the
does it get
fucking
little
drone.
sirens? Like, why would it have to turn on sirens? Like, what if there's other drones in the way? Like, is this where we're going?
It needs to let everybody know they're there, dude. It's the blueberries and cherries. I don't know.
It's letting the FBI's the birds, because the birds aren't real. It's letting the
Yeah.
birds know they got to get the
No.
fuck out of the way, dude. So all the drone birds are like, all right, get out of the way.
Oh shit! Fuck, that guy's going fast. There's a speed limit here. I think it's gonna be funny. They're like, it's not for spying. That's what I read. The only part of it I read, it's like, it's not for spying, it's for surveillance. And I'm like, that's what spying is. Spying is constant surveillance. Like, I just don't. People are stupid, and I'm not a bright person. Like, you and I aren't bright people. Like, we understand things. to an extent, and we have come to thought processes
Out loud on this podcast.
Yeah. Whatever. Yeah, we've come to thought process eyes. I don't know what that word is. See, not a bright person, but I've been right about a lot of things. And this last like 3 years since we've started doing this, 4 years almost that we started doing this. And it's just like, I don't think drones are going to be what people think they're going to be, like normal everyday people. I bet you there was a shit ton of people on that thread that were just like they can comment on the fucking article. I bet you they were like, oh, this is a good idea to get our cops out of the way from, getting in trouble, especially here in Phoenix.
I don't know, dude. If I look at like social media, and if you follow like a police department or even like a federal department on Instagram, they'll post something about like something new that they have, or like some bust or whatever, some new law they're trying to introduce, whatever the hell it is, and the comment section is usually people not very happy. It's probably
Dude, well, all right, so I see it more on Instagram. I think Instagram is full of savages. Instagram is full of fucking straight up savages, because the CIA posts something on Instagram, they're getting wrecked. Like, it doesn't matter what it is.
Yeah,
they're getting
the ATF Instagram.
ATF, same thing.
I don't think there's one positive comment about the ATF.
No. And Twitter, you get both. You get both sides, and a lot of times, a lot of the liked comments, like I'll see a shit ton of comments, and most of them are negative, but the ones at the top, the ones with the most likes and shit and the most comments and everything, are like the pro ATF, pro FBI. Like, those are the ones that get the most traction. And so it's interesting, because you see I think that's like the problem with like the individualism portion of the movement that we're attached to, like the libertarianism, is like, well, I know this guy said something, but I got to say my piece too. And we don't like, or we tweet like the fucking mainstream liberals do, or the mainstream Republicans do. You know what I mean? They're yeah, we're not going to say that shit. I don't know. That's why, the whole libertarianism thing is interesting. And we've talked about this before, where it's like, we're so decentralized that it's almost hard to raise up, because all of our ideals are very different. I mean, fuck, I just saw Pete and some other people talking about how letting degeneracy in society, it will lead to, what we have now. And I'm like, I'll go do lines off, whatever I want to, whenever I want to, if I can. Like, I think that should be completely legal. I don't think we should make more laws for that. And I don't care if I walk into a sex club and two dudes are butt fucking on the couch. Like, that's my choice. I went into a sex club expecting that there was going to be degeneracy there. I don't think that should be criminalized. Like, and not that there's anything wrong with Pete. I fucking love Pete, and I still listen to his podcast a fucking shit ton. I just don't get this strict evangelical libertarianism. I really don't. And I don't think he has it on everything. I think it's like what we talked about with the fucking don't say gay bill, which doesn't mention the word gay once in it at all. It's just talking about sexuality, and how it's like, I think it's a waste of fucking tax dollars. But I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh yeah, that's how dare they pass that? Like, I get it, but at the same time, I think it's literally a waste of time, and it's just virtue signal. I think a lot of these things are virtue signal. It's politics still, and DeSantis isn't a fucking savior. He's not going to lead us back to freedom. Is some of the things that he's done very good? Absolutely. Him opening his ports 24/7, so nobody had to deal with the fucking trash that is California ports. Fucking phenomenal. Great for business, great for freedom. It should have been like that in the first place. Him not locking down the way everybody else did, and just being like, yeah, we're going to get over this. And then the way he handled vaccination, where he was like, people that want to get vaccinated can get vaccinated. We're not going to make you guys get vaccinated and limit you from whatever else that you have to get, like whatever else you need to do. We're not going to limit it. But if you want the vaccination, we're going to try to have plenty on hand for everybody. and then specifically went to places that were higher average age and set up the shops there first. Makes sense. It makes complete sense.
Yeah, he was
But,
like he was not like retarded with COVID.
It made
like,
sense.
Yeah,
it's
he did
there's a
everything.
logical
Yeah, he did
progression.
everything that like, it just made more sense. Like all the whole country was locking down, and like he didn't really lock down at all, and then he just targeted the help to the older people, which is like kind of what everyone was saying within a couple months after this whole virus thing took off. And that was like the cancelable people, the doctors that were on Joe Rogan, so they were just suggesting simple stuff like this, and then he was just doing what just fucking made sense at the time, which did take a lot of courage, I would say, just because of the atmosphere.
Yeah.
And it really put a spotlight on him if he wanted it or not.
Yeah. And like I fucking agree with those things, but the Don't Say Gay bill, I really don't give a shit about. And I'm just calling it that because I don't know the actual name, because I really don't give a shit about the bill. I don't give a shit about the bill, because honestly, you should be paying enough attention to your kids' schools where if they come home and they're like, fucking my kindergarten teacher or first grade teacher said vaginas can touch other vaginas, I'd be like, all right, we gotta have a fucking sit down with the goddamn school. Like, that's like where I'd go from that point. And I'd be like, she's fucking 5. Like,
Yeah.
I don't want you to be talking about this stuff. Like, I don't care. Like, I don't care if she grows up to be a lesbian, but come on, like, she's 5. We don't need to be talking about it in class. Who cares?
Yeah, I mean, like no matter how long or forever how like Republicans or libertarians would scream how terrible public schools are and how they're a waste of money or bad or whatever they want to criticize about them, the progressives have done more to make public schools like on the map. They put them on the map where it's like people's concern, like people are actually legitimately concerned about like what's going on in public schools, which is,
well, it was like the Pledge of Allegiance. I think that was like the biggest thing when I was growing up, was saying the Pledge of Allegiance at the beginning of school.
Yeah, and I remember that.
Just because it said under God. That was the big thing. It was like, my kid doesn't want to say under God. Like, you know what I mean? And the Christians were like, they're attacking our religion.
Yeah.
It's going to lead to the downfall of our society. And it's like, I get that there's things that have happened.
Yeah, that was a big uproar for like the people around here, because I mean there's people are very veteran friendly, and that's what the conservatives like, we do it for America. And it was like still kind of the wars were going on and stuff like that. I think
it was in the middle of the wars.
Yeah, and so that's what like Republicans would defend.
I don't remember saying the Pledge of Allegiance in high school. I remember it being a thing up until like, I remember it being a thing up until like 7th grade, if that makes sense. I don't like, my memory is not like, that wasn't a big portion of like, it didn't fucking matter. I usually sat there like, this is fucking stupid every day. Like, that's what I thought, even from the beginning. I was like, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I thought it was fucking stupid the entire time. Like, the whole time I went to school, I was like, why do we get up and say this every fucking day? This is weird. I don't really give a shit. I didn't really believe in God. So I like didn't care either. I'm like, I'm just saying something so I don't get in trouble. Like, basically.
Yeah. Conformity. Because everyone else around me is doing it.
Yeah. Gray man mindset at a young age. I had it. I was like, I'm just gonna blend in.
I don't know when we got rid of it. I think it was sometime in high school, but yeah, we got rid of it eventually. Because I remember
that shit in high school.
Yeah.
I remember it going on the announcements, but I don't remember saying it in high school.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe that's what they did in high school. I don't really remember now.
But I didn't pay attention to the school announcements anyways. So in homeroom, like whatever was going on in the announcements, I was on my phone or, trying to copy off somebody's homework when I didn't do mine. Like, I was like, I don't give a shit what's going on.
Yeah. Yeah, the announcements were always lame. It was always something stupid. But I think like that's why, like people like it's like this huge culture war over the don't say gay thing. And then, I mean, it's totally misconstrued probably on both sides. And it's made out to be like, oh, it's don't say gay or you can't whatever. And it's not even really what the fucking bill says. And then, but it's just like one of those cultural things that gets like everyone like ramped up. And there's always these things that like that seem like they're really important, but they're just like not that
it doesn't matter.
important.
Yeah,
And I mean, I think it's a little different just because it involves kids. So that just gets weird when like whatever
that's
the
always like
policy
the gray
is.
area, right? That's always the gray area, is like when it concerns kids, like that's like the weird spot.
Because
where
like we would
it
say,
affects
I mean,
a lot.
so there's like kind of like two sides to it. Like I'll just go like to the military, where it's like, the military is kind of destroying itself from our perspective, right? That it's fucking going all woke, it's
Right.
getting all weird. And it's like, okay, and like to me and like people that I think of that join the military, I'm like, okay, well, that's just not people aren't gonna want to join the military now. Cause like that's just not why people join the military. You don't join because it's like friendly and equality. You go because you want to kill people. Like,
Yeah,
this is
exactly.
not what the military does. And so a part of me is like, oh, good, they'll just like destroy themselves. But there's also another thing I was thinking about where it's like, well, what if they're just recruiting who they want to be loyal to them?
Yeah.
And then
Well, no, I think
that-
that's exactly what it is.
Yeah, that gets a little weird because then it's like, okay, now there's not anybody that thinks like me in the military. And now the military becomes people, I will just say, that are maybe more likely to buy into establishment liberal propaganda. And that's like, oh, fuck, dude. Now there's a bunch of people in the military that want to kill me. That's not good.
I get that perspective. That makes sense. I think it's a good point. I just don't think it's worrisome. I think it's like you remember Bronson. It's like him. I joined the military because I wanted people to stop bullying me. That was what his reason was. I wanted people to stop bullying me, so I joined the Marine Corps. And he got in, and he literally followed me around the Marine Corps.
Yeah,
and
that
he
was
was a
pretty weird.
weirdo that I almost got in trouble for making him take a shower in my comm school. I almost got a hazing charge for it. And all I did was lock him in the fucking bathroom and told him to take a shower. I was like, I'll let you out when you take a shower. Bro, just take a shower. You smell bad. I can smell it. You sleep above me. You smell horrible. We were in the field for 4 days. You didn't wash your ball sack once.
Jesus,
And,
dude.
I locked him in the fucking bathroom and I almost got in trouble for it. But it's like, that's hazing. And it's like, all right, well, if those are the people that are allowed in the Marine Corps now, if those are the people that they're recruiting because they'll hate people like me, it's like, well, I'm not really scared of Bronson. I'm not, even with a gun, that dude couldn't shoot for shit. Like, I mean, he could catch me by surprise one night while I was sleeping. Surprised he didn't a few times, but we're on a range, but like at the same time, like, I'm just not worried about it. Like, I'm not like, if those are the people that join, fuck, they destroyed themselves. Like, they're not worth it.
I think a lot of like right-wing pundits will talk about this, but they're not exactly wrong when they say this. But like, and not like all this woke shit in the military will definitely, like, at least, to us, to a lot of conservative types, it feels like our military is weak or getting weaker.
Yeah.
And so then, like, when they say that, like, oh yeah, now China is gonna look at us like we're fucking pussies, and it is kind of true. I'm not saying China will fucking invade tomorrow, but I'm just saying that, like, I mean, if I was like a Russian dude and I was seeing like the shit, like, you've seen those commercials of the Russian commercial. It was just like, it came out like last year or something, and it looked like, like a fucking Marine Corps video, but like 10 years ago. That's what it looked like. And it was like, oh, it was kind of badass, gets you amped up, and it's like very manly. And then now you look at ours and it's just like, what the fuck is this shit, dude? So I get the fucking like right-wing criticism when they're like, oh, it makes our military look weak. Because I mean, I think too that like the stories of the military, like that myth, those like the stories, and like how we're the devil
Chesty
dogs.
Pullers,
Yeah,
the,
we're the devil dogs, and fucking that the Nazis called us when we were in fucking Germany and shit, and all these like crazy stories of like these strong, these strong battles of
I
how
love that the
Marines
Marine Corps
rose up and
loves
stuff.
that fucking saying, the Tufelhunden, that we
Yeah.
got from Germans, and we'll say it. We'll say it.
Yeah,
Like they say
Yeah.
it all the time, and it's like, that's kind of weird. We're speaking German in the Marine Corps. That's fucking,
Yeah.
That's a little weird, but whatever.
but regardless of like, and don't get me wrong, like I still think that like our military is still one of the best trained top tier militaries in the world, and it would take a lot before another military came close to beating it. But at the same time, that reputation, that narrative that we're like the Marines are like badass, that's being destroyed, and that's the first thing that goes.
Yeah.
And like,
well, and
when
that's like a lot of the reputation is what makes us scary, right? Like that's it's like the undefeated team in football, and then you have to play them. It's not like it's scary to play them because, well, they've destroyed everybody else in this fucking division. Like, why wouldn't they beat us? Like, are we better than anybody else in this division? Like it's kind of like one of those things. And when the reputation starts to get tarnished, it makes you look more human and beatable. And I get that, but I'm just saying, let China invade.
Let's,
but
I think that's
find out. Fuck around and find out.
And that's like that,
because
like
everybody,
that's something.
Well, all right, so sorry. Everybody thinks it's just the military's problem. Like, and that's the problem is like we've outsourced our own defense for using the military. Like that's what we've done as a nation, right? Well, that's what certain people in the nation have done. There's a large portion of the population that's like, what's his name? Bryce Miller? No, not Miller. Is it Miller? The UFC fighter? He's like, I'll dig Bryce Mitchell. He's like, I'll dig my fucking feet
Thug
into
nasty.
the sand. Fucking Thug Nasty. He's like, I'll dig my feet into that Arkansas mud and fight until I die. Like,
Hell yeah, dude.
and like there's a shit ton of those people here. And that's where it's like, that's the difference for the United States compared to everywhere else in the world. It's not our military. It's not the military. It's people like that. The people that are like, yeah, you're not taking me off this land. And if you do, I will fight for it. And I have the means to fight a conventional military in unconventional ways. Like that's the literal entire point of the United States. That's how we became a nation. So it's like, that's why things like China, the only thing that's scary about China is how much they pay Biden. The only thing that's scary about China is how much they pay Pelosi. The only thing that's scary about Russia is how much they pay Hillary Clinton. Like those are the things that are scary about them because they do it through political means instead of physical means. It's like the COVID shit that I always talked about. It's like, I wish they would have gone door to door and been like, hey, you have to get the vaccine. Because if they can just do it through notoriety and paperwork, like people would just kind of accept it because they're like, well, there's paperwork. It says it. It's right here. See, look, I'll show you. And then they're just like, whatever. But let China invade. Like, let them actually legitimately invade the United States and see what happens. You'll see a lot of fucking New Yorkers calling for gun rights real fucking quick.
Yeah, I really like
same thing with Ukraine. Bryce
Mitchell's thing, because fucking he, like, a lot of people would have said like American soil, but he specifically said Arkansas soil.
Yeah.
And I love that because it's like I don't know, I like it more when like, that's why I like people like from Texas. Yeah, like Texan, that mentality of like, we're Texas first. And I like that's the big thing that I think a lot of people need to get back to is like, you are your state first before you're the United States. and there's a lot of like pride, and like there's so much, there's so weird about like where you're from, where like, you know, people will criticize like my little fucking town, and but I'll still defend it, and I'll be like, yo, don't fucking talk shit about where I'm from, dude. Like, I can talk shit about where I'm from.
It's
the
like
same
it's
way.
like your little brother. It's like you could talk shit about your little brother, but somebody else talks shit to your little
Yeah.
brother, and you have a fucking
Yeah.
problem.
But that's like, I don't know. I like that he specifically was talking about Arkansas, because it just separates. It was like, yo, I'll defend Arkansas, but yo, West Virginia, fucking North
They can
Carolina,
go fuck themselves.
they can
Well,
fuck
and
themselves.
with Bryce Mitchell, like if you listen to, he did an interview with Ariel Helwani, and Ariel Helwani, he was mind blown the whole time. And Bryce Mitchell kind of sounds like a crazy person in that interview. Like, don't get me wrong, he sounds like a fucking wild ass lunatic in that
Yeah,
video.
he does
they
some
start talking about
shit.
they start talking about school shootings and shit like that, and Bryce Mitchell's like, well, that's the price to pay for freedom or some shit like that.
Fuck
And
yes.
it's like really fucking funny. It's so funny. Like for me, it's funny because he just doesn't know the correct answer to answer it correctly, you know? Like
He
just
doesn't know how to
that.
articulate his answer very well.
Yeah, so he's just like, God and fucking America, bruh.
Yeah.
God, America, and an AR-15.
That's all you need to know. It's like,
and that's
all you
fine.
need to know.
Like I associate more with people that say that shit than people that are like, the left-wing agenda is to vaccinate everybody so that they're safe from the rest of the world. When the Chinese invade, but we're paying the Chinese multiple billions of dollars every year, because we're in debt to them. And the national debt doesn't really mean anything as long as the United States pays their bills on time. Like I totally associate more with guns, God, and fucking America than that. You know what I mean? Like I don't care how nice it sounds or how politely you say it. I'd rather the brash fucking lunatic than the sweet talker that like tells me everything's going to be just fine as long as America pays China, and then we won't have to worry about China invading the United States. Like it's like, fucking don't pay China. Like, why are we sending aid to China every year? Why are we sending aid to Israel every year? Why are we sending aid to anybody every year when there's poor people on the streets and they care about poor people so much? Like, it just doesn't like, it's like the logic, at least they're logical. Like, I'm not saying that it's the logical conclusion of what you believe in or like what you should believe in, like Bryce Mitchell's way of thinking. Dude, but at least it makes sense.
That's why like I totally believe the idea that like dumb people are harder to train. So it's harder.
Well, the bell curve thing I think reigns true.
Yeah.
Like it reigns supreme.
Yeah.
Where it's like the Neanderthal and the fucking non-existent body brain.
Yeah, dude. When it's like, it's easier. Like if you have a dog, it's easier to train and get an obedient, smart dog. Like a smart dog can learn tricks and be obedient a lot easier than like some dumb dog, and they'll be not obedient. And I think that's kind of true with like humans, where it's like people that are, how liberals would say, like uneducated, the redneck white trash, those fucking people in the woods voting for Trump and hunting their deer. They don't fucking fall for this shit. They're like, no, that's bullshit. Like this shit's just like bullshit. Like, I don't know. But then I don't know, when we were at like ASU, they would have to like, I don't know, explain themselves in a circle for why these things were like, or why Donald Trump was the worst thing ever.
Dude, wasn't it funny when you like just pressed a teacher a little bit? Like you didn't have to press them hard. Like just pressed a teacher a little bit and they'd crack under their own thing. Like they'd crack under their own argument. And you were just like, you had that one teacher. What was that class that you had where you debated all the time? You had a debate.
It was called critical thinking. And let me tell you.
Oh, critical thinking. Yeah, there wasn't a whole lot of critical thinking in there. And he made you argue against drones because he thought you were going to be for drones, right? In a war space.
Yeah, he put me on the side of against. That was the only thing I got to argue that I agreed with. It was like, should we use more drone strikes or should we use traditional troops?
Yeah, and he always put you on the opposite of what you believed in. but
Yeah,
he
he put-
just assumed.
He put me on 4 gun control. I was like, you son of a bitch. He thought I was he thought I was a Republican. He even told me
Yeah,
at the
yeah.
end of class.
Yeah.
But yeah, we had to do all these fucking debates and shit. But yeah, he
I
put
love
me
debating.
on.
Debating is fun. It actually gets me in trouble in personal settings, but
Yeah.
it's fun.
Well, I didn't like it. I thought I would like it in this class, but I did not like it because it was like just there was no like there's literally come to a point where it was like there's no debating. This is just like, what are you talking about? Like what
Yeah.
are you trying to say? Like I don't like it's like because I don't know, I came from the fucking military, so I just knew a little
Yeah.
bit more than what this fucking I felt bad because I was like, I have a whole 5-year experience with like kind of understanding what our drones do, and then plus my own perspective of being like more anti-war. I really had a different perspective. So it was like I was just set up to be, and I just teeing off. And the weird thing was I was debating an Iraqi dude. I debated an Iraqi kid. And I
You
was
didn't
in the
tell me
military.
that part. I
I
was
was in
lived
the-
with you at the time. You didn't
I
tell me that
lived-
shit.
Yeah, I forgot about this. He was an Iraqi. He was born in Iraq, and he was arguing for more drones. And I was like, oh my God, dude, what twisted, fucked up world is this? I should be on the other side, and you should be the one being like, no more drones.
Did he
please.
choose that side?
No, the teacher did.
Oh, that's
But the
fucked
teacher
up.
picked
That's
the
fucked up.
Iraqi kid to be for drones.
That's insensitive.
Dude,
That's-
yeah, it's fucking crazy, dude. It was the weirdest debate.
How'd your
Never
teacher
did.
react when you told him you weren't Republican?
I didn't tell him.
Oh, you didn't? I would have told him.
No.
Would
No, he was like-
if he brought up to me, oh, like, yeah, I thought you were Republican the entire time that you were in this class, I'd have been like, well, actually, and then like pushed up my fake glasses and I'm a libertarian.
Yeah, no, I
believe in
didn't.
Child sex predators.
No, dude, I never like really identified like that class was the only time I think I even like talked about politics that much. I think I didn't really identify myself too much, but when he just made an offhand comment where it was like, I think you'll be a really good something for the Republican Party one day, and then just moved on the conversation. I was like, oh, okay, whatever.
You're like, I'm Jewish, right? Like,
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. Well, that still makes sense in the Republican Party, actually.
But dude, it was. But yeah, I don't know. He just assumed. I think he asked me one day after class. I think he asked me because I forgot what the debate was, but it was just some random. Oh, all we had to do. Oh, this was funny. It was like the first couple weeks in class, and they basically just told us to stand up, like you're gonna get this speech, and we're not gonna tell you who the speech is from. And at the end, everyone's gonna vote and who they thought gave the best speech in the class. And I've read this speech, dude, and I did fucking 5 years of public speaking. So like to these
Yeah.
18-year-olds, I was fucking God at this.
Yeah.
And I gave a good speech. I got into it, bro. I was like, yeah. And then the whole class voted for me. Turns out I read a quote from Adolf Hitler.
Dude, I did. All right. So I did this business 101 class. This went down a whole different hole than what we were talking about. But I did this business 101 class, right? And it was my freshman year. I was by myself. You guys hadn't come out yet. I'm fucking living with Robin, our buddy's ex-girlfriend now, but girlfriend at the time. And she had an extra room. So I'm living in this fucking room, and I'm literally getting drunk every day, and then going to class, and then going to work on the weekends. Drunk every day, going to class. I'm not doing homework. Because a lot of my homework wasn't graded. And the homework that I did have to do, I did in class. Like I had time in class at the time. Like there was like some of the math stuff that I just could do my homework while I was sitting there in class. So I just did it while I was in class. And then, so I had this business 101 class, and the guy ended up being 2 years older than me, like the teacher. He was going for his master's and teaching this class at the same time. And the reason why he was teaching this class, because I guess in WP Carey, they have masters, people that are going for their doctorates. They have them teach some of the 101 classes. So I'm sitting there, first day of class. I'm sitting in the back. I'm just trying to go unnoticed because I look older than these people. Like when I got out of the military, I looked 30. I looked fucking 30. Like I looked annoyed with life because I was. And so I looked older than shit compared to everybody else. And I'm sitting in the back of class and he's like, oh, you'll enjoy and we have to do our introductions. And I just said I was in the military, or I was in the Marine Corps, because it's just easier to get that out of the way right at the beginning. Fast forward into the semester, and we have to do like speeches on your business. I haven't fucking prepared a fucking speech. Like I was like, whatever, and it's a business 101 class. So it's like, basically, what's your elevator pitch? Like sell yourself and sell your company. And I don't even remember what it was. I think I did it on elevators because I couldn't think of anything else. And then they just kept saying elevator pitch. So I was like, I'm an elevator like repairman or something like that. Like that's basically what I said. And like these people were talking about it for weeks and weeks and weeks, like going up to him. And I kept getting not in trouble, but he'd be like, hey man, you haven't turned in. He kept calling me man. And I was like, this is fucking weird. I don't like being in this class. Stop calling me man. Like you're supposed to be the teacher. Like, I don't know. I was still in that mode where it's like,
yeah, you're the authority.
You're the authority. I'm the subordinate. Like, don't call me man, especially in front of all these other people. Like, because you're calling them Mr. So-and-so or Mrs. So-and-so. Like, it was super weird. But then I was like, if he called me that, I'd be like, fuck you, you're only 2 years older than me. Like, fuck, you know, like it was, he was in a lose-lose situation regardless. But he was like, hey man, you keep missing these like deadlines, da 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 da. And I was like, I already have my, because one of them was like your resume and then some other things. I was like, I already have these things. I already have these things already done. Like, I don't need to turn them into you so you can check over them and tell me what I did right or wrong, like whatever. And so I just got up there and winged it. And then I got the highest grade in the class. And it was one of those other things where you had to vote for who gave the best elevator pitch. And it was like a minute and a half. And I got a little shaky in the middle of it because I didn't know what else to say. Like, I was like, I know I'm way ahead of time. So I'm just trying to bullshit my way through this thing, hungover as fuck.
Yeah, dude. You'd be shocked.
And still passed and still like got the highest grade in the class, and they picked me as the best speaker. And I was like, all right, well, now I literally don't give a shit about college. Like, that was like the turning point where it was, all right, I think college is a fucking sham. Like,
yeah. Well, it's like when like this was hard to probably was kind of maybe somewhat difficult to a bunch of 18-year-olds. Like, I don't know. I don't know if I would have been able to bullshit a minute and a half when I was 18. Yeah, exactly. It was like, dude, you've been bullshitting for 4 years. You know how to bullshit for a minute and a half.
Yeah. I've been telling people this radio doesn't work because of the sun and the fucking rays that are going on right now for 4.5 years. Like,
yeah.
I can bullshit my fucking business and sell myself in a minute and a half pitch. And I remember when he told us it's an elevator pitch and it had to be a minute and a half, I was like, what elevator am I riding? I said this in the middle of class. What elevator am I riding that takes a minute and a half?
Yeah.
And that didn't go over so well. Like, people chuckled, and then it was like, oh no, we shouldn't chuckle. He's being sarcastic to the teacher. And I was like, God damn, I'm going to fucking commit suicide after this fucking class.
You can't, no sarcasm, Luke.
Oh my God. Oh,
you can't be the funny guy.
But I don't know. It's just wild. Like, that whole period of our lives was a weird time. It was a weird time.
It was so weird. It was so weird. It didn't make sense.
And that's when, like, right when we were coming into like libertarianism and things like that. And it's like, you're watching the liberal agenda. And I was a part of the liberal agenda. And then I joined the Marine Corps, and went super right wing and then kind of found my place in the middle of it, where I was like, I don't know what I really believe. And then we started really getting into libertarianism, kind of because of Jared, but also because of Gary Johnson. We talked about this before, but and then we started going to fucking school, and we were just like at ASU, and then at the community college at South Mountain, and we were just like, what the fuck? What is happening?
Well,
And
I think
it
it,
really,
like-
I think going to college is what really like turned our corner. Like we were really like, oh shit, this is like it's kind of wild out here.
Well, it
they're
was
saying.
like walking into enemy territory, dude, because you're like, well, you just realize, like, being there, you just realize why so many kids are fucking liberal. Like, you're like, oh my God, dude. Like, this is where it happens. This is what like solidifies the brain in these
This is
people.
your first experience of life, and you have
Yeah.
these people to listen to.
Yeah, it's and then you just go to college, you learn some liberal bullshit, get to be a degenerate for fucking 4 years. Like, it's just fucking, that's the idea. And it was always, that's why, like, in Hollywood, I mean, this is getting conspiratorial, but Hollywood just made it seem like fucking, oh, college is gonna be great, and you didn't give a shit. When you're like watching college movies as a teenager, you're not thinking
I
like,
wanted shit, and I want
to go there and
South Harmon Institute of Technology. Like that's what I wanted.
Yeah, dude. You're not going there thinking like, I'm gonna get a degree and figure out life. Most people are sold in the idea that college is gonna be really fucking fun. Like, that's what a lot of dudes I know, like, that's why they want to go to college, is because of like all the songs about college. It's a party, it's partying left and right. The girls, you get to go there with all the girls there, you get to meet hot chicks. Like, that's what like every teenage guy is looking at college like, hell fucking yeah, dude. And don't get me wrong, there is that. But at the same time, it's just fucking like very, very one-sided. And very, I mean, maybe it gotten worse. I mean, maybe it wasn't that bad when we were, I don't know, in like the early 2000s.
Oh, it's probably worse now.
I'm assuming it's worse now. It seems like it's worse now.
God, I should go and take a college course. I should go.
My whole experience, I started college the year Donald Trump became president. So that's what it was like.
I started the year before.
Yeah, when he was coming into power.
Yeah.
When he was winning, when he's fucking beating Jeb and beating Hillary on public stage.
Yeah, Hussein was still in power when I was going. So
Hussein.
Hussein. All right. So speaking of libertarianism, we got to talk about some Adam Kokesh, because we had him on the show, and the last thing that I saw from him was him sharing private screenshots of him and Scott Horton, and him accusing Kokesh accusing Dave Smith of being Joe Rogan's puppet.
Yeah.
I
don't even know what.
Yeah.
I don't even know what to say.
I don't understand. So like this is what I don't understand. I think Kokesh wishes he had Dave Smith's platform, if that makes sense. Like, I feel like he believes in his head that he's been doing this for as long as he's been doing it, and he's been doing it the right way, whether it's his veganism or anti-war stance or anything else. And then he feels slighted also by his episode getting taken down where he was on Joe Rogan way back in the day.
Yeah, and it was taken down, and it was kind of quietly. Like,
yeah, but there was a bunch. It wasn't just Kokesh. And that episode, it wasn't very interesting to listen to. Like, to be honest, it wasn't Kokesh's best work. It was fucking 10 years ago, or 6 years ago, 7 years ago. Kokesh has a lot of amazing ideas, a lot of great ideas, and I mean, at least he lives the shit. Right? Like, he legitimately lives the shit.
Yeah. He built something.
I don't think going after Horton, he went after Scott Horton and said, I'm gonna like basically something to the fact of like exposing Scott Orton, and nothing in the screenshot that he sent like exposed Scott at all.
Yeah, I didn't
Like,
really
not even
understand.
a little bit. It didn't make
Yeah.
sense.
It seems like a lot of, I don't know. It seems like a lot of accusations, but no receipts, if that makes sense. Or it's
Right.
like a lot of maybe speculating and putting things together that aren't really there, is what it appears to me. And I haven't seen anything that make me believe that, anyone is a puppet of Joe Rogan, or that this is some agenda, or I don't know. And I don't even know. Like, I don't really follow the all inside of the libertarian politics. I don't necessarily follow that a lot. So hell, there could have been some sort of misunderstanding or some
Well,
political
he felt
drama.
slighted by the Mises Caucus. I saw that. He felt slighted by the Mises
Yes.
Caucus in an instance. And honestly, I don't actually blame the Mises Caucus for distancing themselves from Kokesh. Like, I don't think he meshes well with the Mises Caucus crowd. I don't think he does. Like, he's like, I don't think it's the Mises Caucus isn't just anti-war. They're not just anti-establishment. They're very economically oriented in the way that Kokesh brings himself isn't so much economically motivated. And even when he does talk economically, it doesn't seem capitalistic or free market to the sense that the Mises Caucus talks about. I mean, when we had him on our show, I like talking to Kokesh a lot. Like, I thought it was a really fun conversation. But I think he goes away into his own head sometimes. I don't think that's a bad thing. I mean, I fucking do it too, but it was super difficult doing the show and everything. But at the same time, like, I don't think Kokesh is I think he'd be a good ally for the Mises Caucus. I just don't think that their ideals align. And that's probably why Heiss, and if Dave Smith did slight him in some way by like not allowing him in as a Mises Caucus representative or something like that. And I'm not saying it's Dave Smith. I don't think Dave Smith has a lot of control over that. I think it's more of a Michael Heiss thing, but which we still need to have him on just to talk to him about the Mises Caucus. It's kind of interesting. It's a weird thing to watch, right? Because we were like pretty involved with the Mises Caucus, not so much like
mainly just Arizona.
Yeah, mainly just the Arizona Mises Caucus, right? And it wasn't so much the national scale or really believing in what they were doing. Not believing, I don't think that's the right word. Really trusting that what they were doing was going to make a difference. It was more just like, this is a good idea. I don't think it's a bad idea, so we're gonna kind of follow it. And I liked the people involved in it. Like, that was the big thing, was like, we liked the people that were involved in it. And so it's kind of interesting, this whole thing that's like Kokesh is coming out against the Mises Caucus and Scott Orton, and it was Kokesh's idea for somebody to run for president on this kind of platform, and Scott Orton's like, I'm the one that told Dave Smith to run for president, not Joe Rogan. Like, I don't know. It's kind of like it's a weird situation to me.
Yeah, and apparently, so the Mises Caucus went with Jacob Hornberger for the 2020 election.
Yeah.
And apparently Hornberger did not like Adam Kokesh for whatever reason. And yeah, maybe publicly, I don't really know, but probably publicly trashed him. And I guess Scott defended Kokesh and told Jacob not to trash him like that. Like, there's no point to do it. And
yeah, and he did it privately. I saw that. That was part of the messages.
But yeah, so it just seems like there's some sort of drama, animosity toward each other. But I don't know. It seems like, to me, I don't understand. I don't know where the dots get connected, that, I don't know, Joe Rogan somehow involved, or this is a plot or some sort. But I mean, like, it's not like they're not fucking hiding it. It's like their terminology is takeover. Like, this is the Mises Caucus takeover. Like, this is what they've been talking about doing for a couple like years now, like maybe a little over a year. I don't even know. So it's not like they're hiding their agenda or whatever. But now, instead of it making it seem like because the Mises Caucus will definitely put that in more of a positive light. They're taking over to do real libertarian shit. And now Adam's making it seem like it's just a power grab of some sort. And I don't know. I only see his tweets. I didn't watch any of his show or anything to see what he said about it. I'm sure he went into longer depth and maybe buffed out some details, but everything that I've seen and things that he shares, it doesn't look good for you, Adam.
Yeah, like it just doesn't make sense to me. And fuck, the Mises Caucus has taken over. Like fuck, it seems like every 2 or 3 weekends there's another update on like them winning a different state inside the Libertarian Party. And
yeah, there's like conventions like fucking once every 2 weeks, and they seem to be dominating. And I'm assuming what everyone kind of knew, like, and maybe not from the beginning exactly, but like I don't know, like 4 months ago, I think it was pretty obvious. Like, these guys are here. They're probably going to take over Reno. It's just all like that was already going to happen. Now everything's just coming to reality.
Yeah. And we'll see if Angela McArdle wins the fucking race. I'm sure that's coming up soon. I thought it was.
I think that's what Reno is.
Yeah, no, it is. It is Reno.
Then it would be I'm assuming it's the last weekend of May, which is the same time as Childeberg.
Childeberg, right? Because Childeberg usually goes on at the same time as
Childeberg,
the National Convention.
It was Childeberg was a rejection of the Libertarian Party.
Yeah. But it was really funny because at that time, Carr still called himself a libertarian. And now I don't think he associates the word anymore. Because he was like, I'm still a libertarian. Like, I believe and like Bird and Aaron were like, yeah, we're not really libertarians. And Carr was like, well, no, I'm taking libertarian as like the legitimate meaning of what libertarianism is, not what people are making it out to be. And I don't think he really associates with that anymore. But, you know, like, I don't fucking blame him. That's kind of where you and I are, where it's like, I'm a fucking anarchist. Like, I don't even say anarchist that much anymore. I'm just more of like I don't give a fuck. Like, this is what I believe. Ask me about my beliefs and I'll tell you.
Yeah, I don't know. No one asked me, so I don't tell.
Well, I don't really get asked that much anymore either. That's what's funny. It's like, it used to be everybody asked, but now not so much. And
well, I think it was maybe because it was like, I feel like people will ask you more when 2024 elections come around.
Yeah.
And people will be like, what are you?
It'll probably come back around because
are you the enemy?
Yeah, dude, I'm kind of excited it'll be good for the podcast, but like, election season is going to be really fun for us.
Oh yeah, dude. I think the midterms might even be a little fun.
Oh yeah. Well, you're going to have to start drinking again on the podcast, not this fucking water bullshit.
Dude, I'm trying to be healthy, okay? Leave me alone, dude.
Get the fuck out of here. You can take 2 hours out of your fucking Friday and sit here and have a drink with me.
Yeah. But yeah, I fucking kind of enjoy, not necessarily like who wins. That doesn't bother me, or like, I don't know, like maybe there's people that I prefer to win over others, but at the same time, I just think they're fun when like people just go, it's just this frenzy, dude. This is when like the people start to reveal themselves a little bit. Yeah. Like, do you look at Facebook right now? It's pretty dead. In 2016, Facebook was live.
Dude, 2020, Facebook was live.
Oh yeah, that's what I meant. Sorry. Yeah. 2020, Facebook's live, dude. You get everything. You get like those other weird ass libertarians that are your friends on Facebook sharing some pretty good memes. Then you get like conservatives actually got some pretty good memes. And then those few liberals that I have on mine are like sharing memes. And then there's like, boom, arguing in the comments, dude. They're just going psycho about like who to vote for. I don't know. Maybe it's a bad thing that I enjoy that, but I enjoy watching the chaos unfold around election time.
I think it's probably a Marine Corps thing, but I think we just enjoy chaos. Like, I think we enjoy the sounds of chaos. Like,
running towards the sounds of chaos.
Yeah, and I think we do. I think we do. I don't think we can help it. I think it's just like part of our fucking structure as a human being.
Yeah.
and we do it because it's just fun. Like there's a lot going on there, and it's
Mhm.
going to be, the midterms are going to be fun. When are the midterms? So November? Are they November? I think they're
Yeah,
November. Yeah. So like, I'm surprised we haven't heard as much, but it's usually like the 6-month mark. So next month.
I'm already
or the
seeing
month
commercials,
after.
bud. I'm already
Yeah,
seeing the
but like,
commercials.
yeah. But I just meant like when it starts up for the
Yeah,
normies.
yeah.
When it starts
Yeah.
up for the normies, it's like 6 month, like that 6-month part. So 5th month is June. June is the 5th month.
Yeah, it'll pick up in the summer, dude. When COVID's in the
Oh,
rearview
no.
mirror completely,
May.
it'll
May is the 5th month. May is the
Yeah.
5th month. So next month, man. Next month we're gonna get the inklings, the little feelers out there, see how people are gonna react to this or how people are gonna react to that, and then they're gonna find out what they're gonna try and exploit from their opponent.
dude.
And they're
Dude, we
gonna
gotta
hit
get
hard.
Jeremy Kaufman on.
Oh yeah.
Dude, he's got like
We should have gotten him on like fucking a year and a half
forever
ago when he told that like 18-year-old kid to suck his dick, and everybody thought he was like being legitimately serious.
Yeah. But he's running for Congress in New Hampshire.
I know. And he's like doing pretty good.
Well, he's got 10%. He's polling at 10%, which is funny. Now, this is when like,
Seems a little high.
When the Republicans are like, oh, the libertarians take our vote. Well, it's pretty obvious that that's what they're doing, because the Democrats leading, and then the Republicans at like 30, and then the next one's at 10%, and it's Jeremy Kaufman. And I'm like, I don't know. I just think that's fucking hilarious.
Yeah. And he's probably better than a Republican by all standards.
Yeah, I don't even know the Republican. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I'd never seen him before. He's probably like vanilla, so I don't really know. Maybe
it's
maybe
New
he's not
Hampshire,
bad.
so it might be a little bit more than vanilla. It's like vanilla swirl, but
yeah. But he came out with that ad that he came out with, dude, was the dumbest shit I've ever seen.
That ad, but it was savage too.
I know, it was so funny.
Savage as fuck. Go look up Jeremy Kaufman's fucking ad for senator. We need to get him on. We need to hit him up.
He's trying to make war gay.
Maybe we try to get him on. Maybe we try to get him on next week, because I think that would be a really fucking good one.
Yeah,
we'll hit him up after we record this. That guy's fucking funny as shit, and I want to talk about the telling kids to suck your dick. Like, I think we had a whole episode about it, and it was literally titled "Suck My Dick." So if you're new to the podcast and you didn't hear it, go find the episode called "Suck My Dick," and you can hear what we think about Jeremy Kaufman. And it's basically all good things. Like, don't fucking blame him. More people need to be told to suck my dick.
Yeah.
And it's not a sexual thing. It's not a fucking sexual thing. One of the last things we need to talk about, you brought up before the show, we had some acquittals and some hung juries. So can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, so this was announced today, I believe. So Friday, April 4th. So the governor,
April
Whitmer
4th,
kid. That's what today is, dude. Oh, it's April. Oh, sorry, it's April 8th. I just looked down and saw 4/8. Oh shit, I went away. So it's the Governor Whitmer kidnap plot. 2 men acquitted, hung jury for 2 more. Hells yeah. So a jury on Friday acquitted 2 men of all charges in a plot to kidnap Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer, but couldn't reach a verdict against the 2 alleged leaders. A stunning defeat for the government after a weeks-long trial that centered on a remarkable FBI sting operation just before the 2020 election. Whitmer did not immediately comment on the outcome, though her chief of staff was critical, saying Americans are living through the normalization of political violence. The result was announced on the 5th day of deliberations, a few hours after the jury said it had been struggling to find unanimity on charges in the 10-count indictment. The judge told the panel to keep working, but the jurors emerged again after lunch to say that they still were deadlocked on some counts. And then I'll just read this last part. Daniel Harris, 24, and Brandon Casita, 33 were found not guilty of conspiracy. In addition, Harris was acquitted of all charges related to explosives and a gun. The jury did not reach verdicts for Adam Fox, 38, and Barry Croft Jr., 46, which means that the government can put them on trial again for 2 conspiracy charges. Croft also faces a separate explosive charge. They'll remain in custody. No juror spoke publicly about the mixed results. Quote, obviously, we're disappointed with the outcome. We have 2 defendants that are awaiting trial, and we'll get back to work on that. The U.S. Attorney Andrew Burge said. Harris and Caserta embraced their lawyers when the U.S. District Judge Robert Jonker said they were free after 18 months in jail awaiting trial. Family members moments earlier grasped and cried with joy when the verdicts were read.
It's pretty dope. Pretty dope.
Yeah, dude.
We've talked about this before, this trial before, and it was all an FBI plot. Like, it was an FBI plot through and through.
Yeah.
That's why you see acquittals. That's why you see a hung jury. It's surprising to me, to be honest, it's surprising to me that there were hung juries and that there was acquittal. It's honestly surprising. Like,
yeah, I didn't
crazy to
expect
me.
it. But it's pretty crazy that basically the jurors are saying that these people aren't guilty and it's the FBI's fault, that this is all the FBI's fault. And that's crazy. Like, for them, like, you know, the FBI, like, this is what's kind of crazy, and maybe it's more normalized, and we kind of just expect it now because we've read and seen so much of this. But of all the FBI stings where they've tricked, you know, Muslims into terrorist activity here in America, and then when this broke and this released, I mean, a lot of it was just like very obvious. It was like, okay, but there's like a few people, and then like the rest of them are feds. Like, if you have a group
there's
of
4 dudes, and then
the
leader that sent the text message, hey, maybe we should kidnap the governor, was legitimately a fed.
Yeah. I mean, they got all this together. I mean, dude, it's like, you know, it's kind of insane, like, that they're going to try to get these people, like, basically radicalize them and get them to the point of overthrowing their government elected official, overthrowing a democracy. And then you're going to arrest them right before they do it. And then, I mean, basically, like, if you, I don't know, carry out an execution, but you just get like this group of people, but then you have, you know, the guy that you recruited and you have him shoot it, and then you're like, oh, now I gotta arrest you. You can't do that. And the dude like turns around like, wait, what the fuck, dude? Like, yeah. It's like this whole time that they just did that. It's insane, but it's really good for those 2 guys. And I can't believe that fucking it came out. And I couldn't believe that a jury was like, yeah, we're not convicted.
What were those guys that we were listening to during the Kyle Rittenhouse fucking trial?
It starts with an R or something. Rakita Law. Yeah, Rakita
Law. We should probably fucking listen to them. Maybe I'll do that this week. Listen to them, and maybe I'll put out an episode or something on our Patreon about it, about what I learned, because I bet you he was following that trial. He had to have been following that trial.
I don't. I think he only follows ones that are streamed online. So I don't know if this one was streamed or not.
Oh yeah, because a lot of federal cases aren't streamed online. That's interesting.
Yeah, but I'm sure you could probably find a lawyer breakdown or some article where they talk about what happened during the trial.
Yeah. No, I mean, this is what should happen, and that's why it's surprising to me, is because it's what should have happened. But it's just crazy to me that we had acquittals and hung juries. Like, it kind of makes it, it's surprising. It's very surprising.
Yeah, it's a big deal that like a fucking jury just decided that the FBI's at fault here, not these guys. And that's pretty big. And And thank God, like it was so obvious, like this was an FBI sting, and to a lot of people, anyone that was paying attention to the actual story, all knew that this was completely fabricated by the FBI, and then for it to come out to actually be an acquittal, which is not something we typically expect. And I don't know. I think it's a really big eye opener for people to realize that like the FBI is the terrorist organization, not whoever they're trying to entrap.
Yeah, you had a tweet about that earlier, didn't you?
Well, yeah, I just tweeted a while ago. It was like
Guys.
2 months ago. I was like, guys, I think the FBI is the real terrorist organization. I just retweeted it today because
Yeah.
it
You're
fit.
like, guys, I think I'm right. Yeah. I don't know, man. I don't know. Like it's one of those things where you, at least for the acquittals, you actually see justice, which is surprising. Kind of with the Kyle Rittenhouse thing too. It was
Well,
surprising to us.
You can look at this one and then be like, so what do we know about that Ray Epps guy?
Yeah.
Like, where,
Isn't that the guy that beat the fuck out of his wife? The FBI guy that beat the fuck out of his wife?
No, I don't know the name of him. He was the one that was with this trial or this. He was the FBI agent with this FBI sting.
Oh,
But
yeah.
the January 6th was that
Oh,
Ray Epps that was
yeah.
on the wanted list. And then he got taken down. But then there's those videos that came out where he's trying to incite a riot, basically. Like,
Yeah.
we got to storm the Capitol. And we're like, wait, where's this guy? And then I don't know. Maybe there's more information
the
about
guy-
him. I haven't
What
seen it.
was the guy's name that was like it was like 2 months after the Capitol, and he was in like the white Ford truck or whatever, and he was like, I'm gonna blow everything up, and everybody was like, that guy's clearly being paid to be here. Like he is. Do you remember that? Like he
No.
was. No, it's the white guy that was like out front of Congress or something like that in his truck, and he was the description of it was he was former like DEA or he was former FBI, and something happened and he was like, yeah, I have a bomb in my truck, and then he ended up, everybody was like, that's a red flag. Like everybody was like, that was, we talked about it on the podcast.
We
but-
probably did, dude. I just don't remember this story.
I'll look it up real quick while we're talking and finishing up, see if I can find it. But everybody was like, oh, this is a false flag. Like this is a fucking false flag. You can't tell me any different. He was outside, and it was just like completely random, and it was to incite, like everybody was just like, oh, it's to incite more violence after January 6th. I can't remember the reason why he was doing it, but it was funny as shit because everybody in our circles was like, nah, like that's not a real event.
Yeah. Well, like I think it's becoming more popular to like call out feds in crowds now. Like people tend to, like, I see video all the time where some dude's doing something weird and everyone's like, fed, he's a fed. And it's like that. Maybe it was similar to this, but there was like another, like the Patriot, or there's the Patriot. Who the fuck are those guys? I don't know. Those dudes that walk around in sunglasses and khakis and all have American flags. And it's like, these guys, everyone on the internet has kind of determined that these guys are feds. Like, who the fuck are these random people?
Because they were in the back of a truck on the way up.
I don't know, dude.
Do you remember that? They were in the back of a truck. Like there was like a TikTok video or an Instagram video of them in the back of the truck all the way up there.
No, I don't remember that.
It's the same guys. It's the same guys that you're talking about.
Oh, the Patriot Front, I think it's called.
Yeah, Patriot Front.
I think that's what they are. I'm not sure.
All right, so this is an article.
There
Hold on,
was-
I think this is it.
There was
It's-
the liberals, like there was like the Democratic Party people that went and staged a protest
Yeah.
too.
Well, yeah, there was those guys that stayed out front, and it's like the black dude that's like, I'm just getting paid to be here to pretend to be a white supremacist. Remember that guy?
Yeah.
That shit was funny.
And it was shared by like an
it's-
NBC
it's-
reporter or something.
The guy that I was talking about was, so there's this post, it's by the Washington Post. The title name is "Man Claiming to Have Bomb Near U.S. Capitol is in Custody After Standoff," police say. And this guy is, for the third time, or when was this written? August 19th, 2021. So it was before January 6th. He's like, for the third, January 6th. Oh no,
2020.
January 6th, 2021. 2020.
Oh, it was 21.
Yeah,
right.
it was 21. So it was
yeah.
a few months after 2021. So
Yeah.
I was right. So for the third time in 8 months, Washington was brought to a standstill Thursday as the seat of U.S. government came under the threat of violence. This time from a man who parked a truck near the Capitol, demanded to speak with President Biden about a range of grievances and threatened to destroy 2 blocks of the nation's capital with an explosive device. Congressional office buildings and nearby homes were evacuated as authorities negotiated with the man, identified by law enforcement as Floyd Ray Roseberry, 49, of North Carolina. Roseberry surrendered to authorities after about 5 hours and will face criminal charges, U.S. Capitol Police Chief J. Thomas Manger said. No bomb was found in his car, although officials said that they did discover materials that could be used to make explosives. Before he was taken into custody, Roseberry delivered a tirade over a Facebook Live video in which he assailed Biden and other Democrats, called for revolt against the federal government, and claimed there were other patriots, in quotations, waiting in vehicles elsewhere in DC. The revolution is on. It's here. It's today, he said in his live stream. America needs a voice. I'll give it to them. So
dude.
Yeah, this guy, but I think when you look it up, what's his name? What did I say his name is? Something Roseberry. Where's that? Identified Floyd Ray Roseberry. I'll look it up real quick, but I'm pretty sure he was like a Fed too, like a clear Fed. And everybody that we knew was like, this is a Fed, like this is a false flag, like this isn't, nobody get worked up over this. This guy isn't a fucking patriot. He's attempting to subvert the state. And it's just one thing after another, right? Like the reason why I brought it up was because it was similar to the kidnapping of the fucking Michigan governor.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's just the FBI is now becoming, which maybe they've always been, notoriously known for, being at events and maybe inciting some sort of violence. I mean, they've incited multiple people before, especially in the buildup of the war in Iraq and Afghanistan, and now it's just coming to light that, it's affecting like not what you would think, like it's not to say that the people that they manipulated before, like the regular like Muslim people that they radicalized into doing whatever the fuck, but now it's like they're deeming people terrorist. I guess white people. I guess they're deeming like, not foreign people. They're deeming like people that are Americans. And it's like, oh wow, now that they've taken it a little bit further, because at least before they had to at least somehow connect this person to being somehow affiliated with a terrorist group. And now it's like, now they're building their own terrorist group to trap people. Like it's crazy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You don't remember this guy? Let's see.
No.
Can you see him?
Yeah, I can see him.
Okay. You don't remember him? That shit's funny
No.
as fuck. I'll try and find like his background real quick. But yeah, Floyd Ray Roseberry.
Those Rays, dude. Ray.
Yeah, you can't trust a Ray. You can't trust a Ray.
Don't
the only
be
Ray you
trusting
can
Ray.
trust was in Sister Sister. You
I don't even
remember?
know who
You
that
remember
is.
Sister Sister?
No.
Oh my god. Tia and Tamara Mowry.
I know that.
Sister.
I've watched like a few episodes, but I never really watched this.
A few? God damn. We grew up in completely different lives, typo.
I grew up watching The Cosby Show like a good American, okay?
Yeah, it was after the Cosby Show. It was the Cosby Show after the Cosby Show.
I mean, I've seen it on, and I've seen it on Nick at Night, but I never fucking really watched
It's
it.
on Netflix. Get educated.
No. My time to watch Sister Sister has passed.
No, you can still watch it. I promise you. It's funny. It's really funny because when my girlfriend does homework for college, she puts it on in the background while I do my own shit.
Yeah.
And I'm like, God, I love this show. I used to watch it all the time. And I was like, oh, I remember this episode. Oh, I remember this episode. Then I talked to fucking you from goddamn bumfuck nowhere, Illinois. And you're like, I don't know who Ray is. I don't know.
Dude, we watched Roseanne, dude. That's what we watched growing up. That was our people, dog. That's
I watched
who
Roseanne
we were.
too.
I'm just saying,
I'm
dude.
pretty
Roseanne
sure
was-
Sister was right before Roseanne.
I don't know, dude. I don't remember the fucking timeline for how Nick at Night played their shows. I never really watched Full House either. I never got into it.
Oh, I love Full House. Full House. That's a good ass show.
I always
Now,
watched.
what's his face is dead. What's his name?
Oh yeah, dude.
What's his name?
Bob Saget.
Bob Saget.
Yeah, I watched Fresh Prince of Bel-Air the most. I think I watched every single episode of that.
I think that's our generation's show. Like, I think the generation before us, it was Cosby Show. Like the kids before us, it was the Cosby Show. But for us, it was the Fresh Prince.
Oh, and Home Improvement. I watched Home Improvement as well.
Home Improvement was dope. Tim Allen was fucking dope. And then he got canceled
Yeah.
when he had his new show.
Yeah. I think he got picked up by a different network though. Actually, yeah, he did because my mom watches that show. It's like the only show that she watches.
What's it called? What's the new Tim Allen show called?
Oh, I do not
It's
know.
basically the same fucking show as Home Improvement. He makes the same fucking jokes.
Yeah, it's just Tim Allen jokes. But I don't remember. Last Man Standing. God damn.
Last Man Standing. That is it. Yeah, I don't know. I can't find more of Mr. Ray Roseberry's fucking history, but he's false. That was a false flag. It blew over. You don't even remember it. We fucking talked about it. You can't even remember it. So that's how important it was because they're not talking about it anymore. And he threatened to blow up the fucking Capitol. So
Yeah. Yeah, you know, too, if it was like a legit like
they'd still be
concern,
talking about it.
I feel like they'd still talk about it. How, yeah. So a lot of these, they talk about them for when they're happening, and then like all the shit comes out about it, and they're like, they just stop talking because they know it's not a good thing. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I don't know. That's what they do. That's what they do. What are we gonna do about a typo?
Bitch about it on the internet, dude. And I'm gonna continue. I'm gonna continue bitching about it on the internet until things change around here. Okay.
That's why we have a podcast, Baja, sir.
Yeah. That's why.
Well, I don't have anything else to talk about, do you?
No, sir. I'm all talked out.
All right. Well, next time you're fucking drinking. All right.
All right, fine.
Next Friday, you're fucking drinking with me.
All right, dude. Very well.
We gotta get Mr. Howe back on.
Oh yeah, dude. That would be Captain Chris is his name, actually.
Yeah, Captain Chris. Well, it doesn't matter anymore. He already got swatted.
Nerd.
So we're gonna get Captain Chris back on. We need to get Jeremy Kaufman back on. And those are the episodes we're gonna give you guys. Maybe we'll post one on fucking Patreon or something. I don't know. We'll see.
Oh yeah.
So, well, that's a fucking shit show. If you don't have anything else, I don't have anything else.
I'm all good, dude. Think we said it.
All right, dope. That's the fucking shit show. Hope you guys enjoyed it. We out.
Welcome to the shit show.
setting fire to the blunt and allowable opinion.